The Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Franklin Township Board of Education has caused advance notice of this meeting and general agenda to be submitted for publishing in the official newspapers as well as district and municipal offices on June 29th, 2023. Can we all rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chris, you want to call roll for us?
Kathleen Adam.
Here.
Leif Anderson.
Here.
Jamie Armando. Raymond Castellani.
Here.
Chris Dexter. Caitlin Fredo.
Here.
Mandy Joust.
Here.
Jennifer Naus.
Here.
And John Tiger.
Here. Recognitions and presentations.
Okay, is your student here?
He did not get here. Can we
Didn't
hold
get-
off or
Pardon?
can we put him later on?
Yeah,
or-
sure, when he gets here, John,
If not, then I
John
can read it
McCarthy.
if anything, but if he gets here then.
Okay, we'll wait on the student council,
Okay.
okay? And we don't have your. So let's get these out to the board.
Just one for each.
Yeah, yeah, one for each, yeah. Yes, yeah. Yeah.
They got
Oh,
it. They went that way.
Yeah, yeah.
We're good.
Thanks. Okay, okay.
We're going into executive session. I think so.
Are we doing it right now?
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna go into executive session. I think it'll be about 30 minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Paper.
So.
What do we like?
And then this one is.
What do you get before, so?
Off
You got your better daylight saving time covered.
So I don't know if
We
that.
don't-
You know anything about daylight savings time? Can you guys
Hey Kurt, can you grab the public comment list?
Alright, yeah. But I signed them.
Anybody else for the public comment list?
Oh, sure, I'm sorry, you saw it?
No, he did, that's all.
He's here.
94 in Hamburg.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll do that for this one. Yes, absolutely.
John?
He's going first. Yeah.
Anybody else with a public comments?
Thank you. I don't know. Go ahead, you got
I'm working on it, right?
So we're back in session and Mr. Mooney's gonna
Okay.
speak.
I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our student council president. I believe he's been student council president for 2 years. Is that true?
Yes.
All right. His name is John McCarthy, and he's going to give us an update about the student council. John, welcome.
Good evening. As Mr. Mooney said, I'm the student council president. My name is John McCarthy. Last Friday night, on October 20th, the student council held a Halloween dance. Students in grades 7 and 8 were invited and were allowed to wear Halloween costumes. We had over 50 students attend the dance. We had a great DJ and held a costume contest. It was a great dance. Students had a lot of fun. We are also in the process of securing a date for the Valentine's Day dance, which would be in February. We're also planning another dance, I believe, which will be later in the year, but that is undecided. I'll just take a moment to go over some of our upcoming events that we will do this calendar year. We will sponsor the Stuff the Stocking holiday collection. This will collect toys, which will benefit clients of Project Self-Sufficiency. This begins on October 30th and ends on December 11th. Large collection boxes will be placed in or near middle school or elementary vestibules. We will be asking for new unwrapped items for children's and teens. The Student Council will also help out at the PTA Holiday Vendor Fair, doing whatever the PTA asked us to do. Last year, we helped Santa help young children create art in the art room, and took turns walking around wearing the bulldog costume. We will also be planning and presenting a winter pep rally. The date and time will be announced soon. The Student Council will hold a Parents' Night Out in December for students in grades K through 2. It will be held in the evening to give parents a chance to prepare for the holidays. It was very popular last year, so we'd like to do it again. I believe we almost had 100 kids last year. Very big number. And this is a quick summary of our activities we will do until the end of this year. Thank you for your time and allowing us to provide this report.
I'd like to thank our council advisor, Joanne Sadowski, for being here tonight. Also thank Alice. She gave us all these wonderful pictures that I put in the back of our superintendent's report tonight. So kids were dressed beautifully, and really, it was a cool event.
It was a good time.
So, yeah, really very nice. So, and thank the principal for staying the entire time. Thank you, sir.
It was an experience.
Thank you. Sure it was, buddy.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to move into public comment?
I'll make it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just so everybody knows, the session at the beginning of the meeting, this public comment session is devoted to input on action items on the agenda. There's a second one if you wish to speak about something that's not on our current agenda. So, Chris, who's our first speaker?
Lori Eckert.
Hi. I don't know if this is on the agenda or not, but upcoming events was something that we do every year. The Help Foundation that I'm a part of. Typically in December, we go caroling and we go around to different houses in the township, people that would need a little cheering, a little pick you up type of thing. And in the past, we have used a bus, one of the Frankfurt buses, and we're just wondering if we could do that. We have a driver that will volunteer their time, and if need be, we could also contribute to the gas. And we're looking at right now, December 8th is our date that we would go. It's Friday, December 8th. Possibly, I think we leave around 4 and get back probably around 8 or so. So we're looking at 4 hours. If that would be a possibility that we could use a bus this year, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
That should not be a problem, Laura, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Would we add that to the November agenda?
We can add it to November.
Yeah, it was up to the board, but that's very nice.
I'd like to.
Could you give us a little sampling of your caroling, please?
You don't wanna hear, I'm gonna
Then you are on.
in church, I sit behind somebody that can sing really well.
Oh, that's the trick.
Add it to our opinion. We need to add it to this.
Add it to our consent agenda?
Sure, yeah.
We
Okay.
can add, we'll add it as.
Great,
as
thank
an
you.
extra one at the
I
end.
appreciate it.
That'd be great.
And then we have Greg Simon.
Good evening, myself and Brendan Post, where are you? There you go. We run Summer Enrichment. We had a question on the agenda. It makes a comment on page 6 at the bottom, where it talks about federal grant money was used to pay the summer enrichment staff, along with the after-school tutoring to the tune of $39,000 at a $53 per hour rate. Summer Enrichment is completely self-funded. We fundraise the entire calendar year to operate, and we receive 0 funds from the school. Was it a typo to have us included, or are we receiving federal funds? Which we're no longer fundraisers.
Misprint of the title. After school, we run some of the RTI program goes through Title I.
Gotcha.
Should
So,
say something.
how that works is anytime salaries are paid from a federal grant, the requirement is that it gets formally approved, so.
Gotcha. So,
Yeah, summer enrichment
I'll take
is
the 39
self-funded
grand.
entirely.
got it. Thank you. Okay.
Nice try.
I have to deal with that every morning.
Anyone else for public comment? Motion to close public comment,
Motion, second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Superintendent, principal section.
Okay. I did issue this superintendent's report to the board like I usually do. I just wanted to give a quick update on the principal search. We started with 29 applicants for the position. We did paper screening on 29 applicants and decided to do remote individual screening on 18 candidates. We had 4 people involved with that. Kurt was involved with that, as was Matt and Jen Repetzazone and myself. We got down to 9 candidates at that point, that process. Each had basically an hour-long interview. We then got down to 3 candidates. We switched gears a little bit. We went to what I call scenario questions. Read a scenario and have the candidate talk about what some of the solutions might be. And we've discussed the board. We're planning to have a board meeting, which I guess will be announced next week, to interview candidate, the final candidate. So that'll be, the board will be announcing that. I would like to thank the members of the committee. We have Jamie Amorondo, Nikki DeSosa, Lori Eckert, Janine Mealy, Lexi Richard, again Jen Repetzazone, Matthew Storch, Jen Vance, and Kurt, and of course myself. So again, very dedicated group, hours and hours, several nights, 3 nights at least, of work, and really appreciate it. And we're moving toward our goal, which was to have the person in place by the time Mr. Walden leaves, which would be for 1st of January. So we're working toward that. Policies, there are 3 policies out there for second reading: sick leave, vandalism, and violence, which includes a threat assessment team that is embedded into that policy. English as a second language bilingual programs. Also, it's the first reading of the harassment, intimidation, and bullying policy. Last month, I asked the board to hold that because I wanted to get a clarification on one area, which allows the principal some latitude in determining to accept or reject the incident as a HIB. Typically, if not accepted as a HIB, the incident becomes a code of conduct. Relatively minor issue, but I did want that to get into the program. Okay, also, the state assessment presentation, typically we do our state assessment presentation this month, but because the state has not come up with the growth scores for the testing, we're unable to do that. We have to do it all at the same time. So that presentation should be made in the month of November. COVID input, I think we're all aware that the COVID situation is considerably different than it was in the past. I don't anticipate that the state will ever get us back to where we were just a few years ago. But I will be asking this month, next month, and maybe even the next month, if anybody has any suggestions, please either drop me a line or email or give me a call, and just share your views on that. I'd like to hear them. I'll record them and take them into consideration as we develop our next safe return plan, which right now I believe is gonna be the last one. I think we have to come up with one more in January, and then I think that might end it. So if you have anything that would be helpful, please do that. We will be asking Brian to give the boiler update. You want to do that now or? You got it, Brian, you wanna give the boiler update now?
Do it now?
Yeah,
Sure.
please.
Alright, well, as where we stand as of today, both the boilers are installed and all the main piping is done to them. What the guys are working on these past few days was doing the domestic hot water lines to them, repiping all that. We're still waiting on 2 huge gas valves to come and the stacking for the venting purposes of that. The slowdown that we're having, or they're having, is that if they do any type of change, which they had to change the stacking because it was back ordered, it has to go through Lochinvar, who's the manufacturer of the boilers. Then from Lochinvar says, okay, we approve or we disapprove. So that's where we lost a few days of redesign the system. This week, we're hopeful to start filling the system up with water, start pressure testing everything, hopefully get all the air out of the system. We've been chasing air for a few days because it's been open for so long. And then hopefully, within another week or two, get them fired up and we're in good shape. There's still gonna be a lot of stuff to do on the end of it, tighten everything up here and there, but for the most part, we're looking.
We got good weather this week.
Yes,
That happens.
my little sun dances are working out pretty good tonight. Keep dancing.
Pretty good. Next week, maybe not.
You can tighten my laces for that.
Well, we're hoping, tomorrow's gonna be a little chilly, and then I'm reading good weather.
Yeah.
78.
And we do have the heaters in the hallway, which certainly don't hurt, they help, it's the best we can do right now. And let's hope the weather holds and they finish this up in the next handful of days. So the next thing, we had a meeting today, talking about the National Center for Exploited and Missing Children. Kirk, you wanna talk about it, or you want me to?
Yeah, it's, I'm Mr. Trout, who's a Frankfurt resident. He reached out to us actually towards the end of last school year, then followed up again late in the summer about he's a Secret Service agent, and they have a program that's kind of it's called the Child Smart Program. And he's reached out to us a couple times, and we finally sat down today. And the premise of it is they have a variety of programs, but Mr. Mooney and I are looking at right now a grade 6 through 8 program, and it's geared towards online safety, understanding all the different things involved with social media, proper use of it, safe use of it, not to get caught in certain things that you shouldn't be. I think all kind of agree that any amount of education you can provide in that area is helpful. One of the things that we are appreciative of also is that they also have a parent kind of a presentation slideshow that we will roll out tentatively. We're looking to, I think, did I email you today, Lori? Did I email you?
Yes.
Okay, good. I reached out to the phys ed staff. Would like to introduce this possibly the week of December 4th through a phys ed class. Then the week prior to, once we tie that date down, the week prior to, we'll send something out to the town, the community, and part of it for them to be able to view a slideshow regarding what parameters they can set. And what, there's I forgot to write it down. What's it called, Bob? Right to know, or take it off? There was something that he introduced to us that actually you could have, that if a picture was to get sent out,
Oh, yeah.
you could actually, there's a contact that you could send it immediately to, and they'll look at that picture and take it off. It's, my apology for not knowing the correct
It's
terminology.
an inappropriate child's picture, we can get it off right away, which is very important.
Which is a huge thing versus that kind of snowballing. So we're hoping to have him in. We met with him today, so we'll get more information on that. Do you want me to continue on with some of the other highlights from the middle school? Or?
Okay, yep.
Just by the way, John's all over the place. He's a very active student. He brought me in for a DSP presentation. It was outstanding. So, and may I compliment also you guys for being outside for over an hour. And it didn't seem, I don't know if there was anything out there, but you guys seem to have no problem talking for that long. So that's good, very representative of the community. But October is known in the education world as a month of respect. So last week we sent about 26 students to Sussex Tech for a middle school summit and it's called the Power of One. In coordination with that, we brought in a guest speaker, Brian Thomas, who kind of deals with who am I, setting goals, understanding respect, and he went into each grade level, grade 6, 7, and 8, 3 days, and talked to them through self-reflection and just setting goals and respecting yourself and reflecting on what's happening. He's a very powerful speaker, and the reason why we wanted him for 3 days is so he could establish a relationship with the students instead of just being 1 hour and see you later. He speaks at a lot of the schools in the county, and also has a very successful basketball program too. So this past week was Violence and Vandalism Prevention Week, which Brian helped coordinate. The Center for Prevention came in and did and a state trooper came in and did a lot of activities with our students during our middle school students during recess. Next week is the Red Ribbon Week for the elementary. It's called the Week of Respect. So many things we're trying to kind of do to help kids understand my mantra, which is trust, respect, and support. And we're trying to have that become a kind of a form of communication for the students. So it always provides us a foundation. More to come on that in the future though. Some future events coming up. Sussex Tech is coming to visit the 8th grade next week. The 6th grade Greek Olympics is November 1. We have a book fair November 15th. Parent conferences, the 17th, 20th, and 21st of November. We have a couple field trips going on, which I think are outstanding. Kittatinny's offered, reached out to us at a lot of schools. We are sending our grade 6 through 8 for a short, abbreviated Anne Frank play over Kittatinny. Strong educational play, and when we talked to it within the teams, they were all for it, and the kids are really, it's a great activity, a great learning activity. And then to follow that, we're doing going to a play that's on the book that we're doing currently in language arts right now for 8th grade. So the 8th grader students are going to be going to High Point for a play called The Outsiders, which is what they're reading. So we're very fortunate with those, and Jamie Wolf's been very instrumental, and I want to do a shout out for her because she's been very instrumental in putting a lot of these things together. Co-curricular, Mrs. Layton and Mr. Arun told me that their county choir members for band and choral went up, so congratulations to them. Our field hockey and soccer varsity and JV programs are combined 29, 6, and 2. They have asked for contract renegotiations. And I guess we have the money now, right? Because
Yeah, you did a great job. You just found
summer enrichment, so. But I also like to Coach Eckert and Kakais and Coach Faraday and Simons, thank you for all of your time that you put into that. And me being a past athletic director, the value of a good extracurricular program and fine arts is it's an integral ingredient of a school's culture. And so thank you for all that you guys have done. And I think that's pretty much right there, Mr. Mooney.
Thank you.
It's been fun.
Thank you. Just an update on the High Impact Grant. The board was asked to support an application for a Learning Acceleration Grant, the High Impact Tutorial Grant. We put in a grant for $38,000. The program was supposed to start October 11th. We haven't even been notified whether we're award winning or not, so we'll have to wait and see. But the program will probably start January 1st, as it turns out. Probably get the word about the program by mid-November, that's what we're guessing. And it's designed to enhance our RTI, Response to Intervention Program, in our schools. Always need more in that area. Program where we identify needs, bring the student out for a very short period of time, and get them right back into the flow. It doesn't interrupt the academic opportunities for the student. So hopefully we'll get this, but we'll see. We also had a very nice K-9 presentation. Officer Nichols, who was one of our parents, came in and did, from the Maywood Police Department, conducted an outstanding K-9 program for kindergartners and first graders at the pavilion. He had 2 dogs, a German Shepherd and a Bloodhound, and the kids really enjoyed that. The trunk or treat is October 27th. The Halloween parade is October 31st, and I'm going to be dressed up, so I'm looking for a beard, I just need the beard. Everything else is ready.
You're not gonna be Ken? Ken?
Oh, Ken, no. I'm not.
Wait a minute.
I have the wig.
No.
With senior Ken.
Yeah, right, you traumatize it, Okay, that's about it for now. First working period closes, you made mention that, November 8th.
Yeah.
November 8th. Okay, that's all, thank you.
Okay, we're kinda all over the map, where are we next? Are we on
Boards, committees.
curriculum?
No.
Oh,
wait, we went that far.
Did we go that far or not?
I don't know.
Policy first. Oh, go ahead,
And
policy.
we did policy.
We did policy, kind of.
Yeah, we did policy.
So we did, one of them was policy 1120, which was a follow-up from last, regarding to public comment. I just put it in there so you can discuss it before making any official changes.
Wait, where?
On page
Oh,
three.
Board of Education meetings.
Yeah.
So on here, it does say, I was just looking, that it does say if time remains after all individuals have addressed the board, those persons wishing to have more time may request to reapproach the microphone. So maybe instead of that, so that they just do it that way, right?
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be a request.
Yeah, so you'll
Yeah.
just request it.
Yeah, you wouldn't yield, you would just request more. Okay. Can I go back, can I add something to communications and public relations, or?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can.
So very quickly, I just wanted to say that I attended the Sussex County School Board Association fall meeting, last week, and it was another great meeting. We met Kelly Mitchell, who is our new field rep. I don't know if you guys realize that, but we have a new field rep. She's very nice. Yeah, she emailed all of us, and I have her card if anybody wants to take a picture of it before you leave. You can do that. And we saw a presentation by the New Jersey State Police and the Sussex County Prosecutor's Office. They did a presentation on school security and cybersecurity for us. So it was another, I had lots of notes at home, and of course I left them there by accident. But it was a really great night, and I think the next meeting is December, it's the first week in December. And that will be after the election. I see that there's some people that are running for the board in the audience. And depending on who wins, anyone that is currently sitting or anyone that wins can go to that December meeting. So even if you are not technically sworn in yet, but you win, you are eligible also to go to that meeting, and as are the rest of us. So the first week in December. I highly recommend going. I go to most of them, and they give you a really great free meal, and they're really educational, and you get to meet a lot of other superintendents and board members from around the county. At this particular meeting, I sat with Mr. Mooney, and I sat with the superintendent from Stillwater and 2 Stillwater members. Usually the High Point president, Board of Ed president is usually there. We usually sit with him a lot of the time, so highly recommend if you guys are available that you check one of those out. So that's all I just wanted to add there.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now I'm at curriculum. Sorry, I think it's still me. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So our curriculum committee met prior to this meeting, and we had a lot of information. So as I told Janine earlier, if I miss anything or anyone that was in there, please let us know. So Janine gave us a recap on the October 9th countywide service that was held here at Frankfurt. There were 275 people in attendance. Approximately 200 of those came from out of district into the building. So bravo to Janine and bravo to the staff and everyone that was accommodating, all the teachers that had to park on the other side of the road and get shuttled over here. Thank you for that. They also brought in the Center for Prevention and Ginny's House, so community collaboration. And there was a very minimal fiscal impact for this event. I think Janine said that maybe one presenter had been paid a very small amount of money, but everything else is kind of run from within. And I think the PTA gave breakfast that morning, right? You guys got bagels or something too? So no cost to district there. She mentioned that Stack Cups, which is a company from North Carolina, came in to work with the PE department on hand-eye coordination, and that all of those participants are going to get a free set of Stack Cups for their class, and that there was a presentation on sensory processing for pre-K. Then Janine updated us on PDP plans and data, and that our data plan, PDP plans are based off of the question of how do you use data to make instructional goals. We talked about the statement of assurance, which is Title II grant, general budget money, and IDEA money, so that's our fiscal impact for that. The idea being that we're gonna try to meet students rather than having the students meet us, small groups, individualized plans, things like that. Next was discussed was the mentoring plan for the district. New teachers that do a certificate of eligibility or the alternate route will have a mentor. The plan gets updated every 3 years, correct? And it is a 1-year mentorship, and there's 0 fiscal impact from that program because the people that are being mentored pay their mentor directly. And the last thing we touched upon was the 2023 ELA Collaborative Classroom. It has great staff support. That's for K through 4.
Correct.
And that I wrote on-course standards 2016. We're waiting for those. We're waiting for on-course. Yeah, on-course to update the standards. But we are set for our 2023 ELA Collaborative Classroom, and that is what is being currently implemented in the classes with the students. I think that was everything.
You did a pretty good job, better than you than me.
Nice job, Kate. That was
Good job.
Kate.
Next month, Liv.
Yeah. 45 minutes to 45 seconds. You did
Wow,
that.
I talk really fast, so sorry.
That's good.
Do we have a technology update?
Yeah,
or-
I can give that, let's get my notes in. 2 things, mainly talking about the insurance at this point. We have 207 out of the 208 students in 6th, 7th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade who have signed on to the insurance program. And out of the 208 computers that have gone out, we only have had 2 damaged, which is a relatively good number. And insurance care 1, and the other is going to be taken care of by the family, but a relatively good number on the insurance situation, so that's good.
Finance, physical plant, I know we touched on the boilers, anything else, Chris, I know there's a few
just
other
a
lines.
few updates. First, I just wanted to thank Our Lady Queen of Peace Church for offering, allowing us to use their parking lot. We were able to, one of our bus drivers was available to shuttle staff that day. We found out just a few, like the week prior, that our attendance was gonna be almost double what it normally was, so thank you to Carlo. He was able to drive, and fortunately it was just right across the street, so it worked out pretty well that day. Boiler update you've already heard. For the SDA grant, this is the roof project that we got, the ROD grant. So the grants have been approved, but we got word a couple weeks ago that we cannot award any contracts until the official SDA grant contract is approved by the state. So they have a team of reviewers, but they could be 2 months before they get these project approvals sent out. So how they have the process is, they just initially said the projects are awarded and that you have, what you've applied for, you've been preliminarily approved. So you get 2 letters, you get a PEC, which is a preliminary cost projection, and then you get the final one, which is then when they initiate a contract with you, or a grant agreement with the district. So if we go to bid too early and the state takes more than 60 days, our bids would expire, we'd have to rebid. So I'm hopeful that we can still get a bid by at least early January, but if we go beyond that, we might be looking at better off waiting until next year. What it would do is, if we're able to put some more money into capital reserve, we could eliminate the need for doing ad alternates in case we don't have enough money to do the entire roof. This would allow us to get a little more time to try and save up to do the entire B-wing roof. So a lot of it's timing, still waiting to see what the state says, but that's just an update. Because originally I really would have liked to have a bid out by December, so that way we could be early on with the project contractors. There will be a lot of roofing projects and other types of projects all getting bid out at pretty much the same time this year, so an extra year might actually help with the results, but that's not necessarily my goal, that's just a possibility of what could happen.
Chris, what's
yep.
the status of the condition of the roof, like if we have to push it another year? I mean, how?
Hey, Brian, the main issue with that roof, Brian can obviously give a lot more info. The main issue is where B wing meets up with C wing. So B wing is the end of this hall, you take a left, that is B wing, until you get to the doors and then you enter C wing. So if you wanna give any update a little bit.
All we keep doing is we keep having thermal expansion going on out there, so every time we put tar down, weather changes, opens back up, it leaks. So all we're really doing is just putting lipstick on it.
Okay.
It needs to get replaced. I think it was originally done in the early '90s, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so it's,
Okay.
could we wait? Yeah, because I talked to the roofing contractor who's done all of our roofs.
Yeah.
He offered to come up and do like a temporary permanent fix for us, which would get us like 2 to 3 years out of it.
Call that the temporary permanent.
Temporary permanent solution to whatever happens.
Okay.
But, you know, so I would talk to
heard
Chris
that
about that, so it needs to get done.
Okay.
I'm gonna write that one down, temporary permanent.
Temporary.
Can I use that? I have to credit you with that.
Because sometimes it happens, it stays like that for years. Before you know it,
Temporary
it's
permanent.
permanent.
Like it.
Yeah, with that said, that'll be, after B wing gets done, we'll have one more roof to do, and that is the roof surrounding the gym, the large the Doug Post multi-purpose room, actually.
Hey.
Doug Post right there, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyhow, just moving on, school facilities reports. We have, these are reports that we do for CUSAC every year. We have the M1, which is a report that helps calculate the cost of what we can put into maintenance reserve for critical repairs to the school to keep it open. We're using maintenance reserve right now to pay for the heaters while the boilers are out. So these items we have to do every year by November 15th, and they're part of CUSAC. There's also the school facilities checklist, which is another one that's mandated, but makes sure that Brian goes through the building, goes through the checklist of just critical items to make sure a report on the status of our facilities. And the comprehensive maintenance plan is also tied to what is the M1. And if you're wondering, these reports start back on page 54. It's just another item that it's a prescribed report by the state. All the wording in there, they actually send out to the districts because it's supposed to be a catch-all to make sure that if it's not in one of those categories, you cannot technically use your maintenance reserve funds to pay for those repairs. So sometimes these reports, to me, don't make a lot of sense, but we have to do it that way. In here, we also have the long-range facility plan projects, that's page 63. This list is what drives our capital reserve savings. So to put a project on there, it does not have to be any special process, but if we don't have the project on there as listed, we cannot put money in there for savings. So, we can add projects pretty much any time, but when you look at the cost of them, it'll say, I think what we got page 63, I'll just say for example here. On this, we have projects totaling $3.7 million on completed projects. What that means is our capital reserve is limited to 60% of that total, so we do not have that much money. But you want to make sure, it's in there to keep an idea of what projects we got planning. I had the unfiltered version so you can see the projects we've done since this started back in 2005 or so. We've done a significant amount of projects, but we always have ones we're trying to keep in mind of what needs to be done. And we have to put them in here so that way we can save up for them. That's all I have for facilities projects. I don't know if anyone has any questions on that, anything like that. I do have in here resolutions to participate in New Jersey cash management. I have information on what, being as a public school district, we're very restricted in what we can invest in, our cash that's sitting in the bank. Fortunately, I was able to get our interest rates up through Lakeland Bank, but we can do better if we were able to put some of the money into New Jersey cash management. Our essential options are, T-bills, which I tried to apply through Treasury Direct. I got a response back that setup was more for nonprofits and private individuals, and they gave me a lot of hoops. But now we can also use New Jersey cash management because it is a government-backed investment fund. So that way, I had to pass a resolution and designate cash management as an official depository before we can move any funds in there. Nice thing with cash management versus T-bills is it's very liquid. You can put money in there one day, take it out the next day, and you get 1 day's interest. Whereas T-bills, you have to purchase a treasury for 4 weeks, 3 months, 9, whatever, 6 months or whichever. They can be sold, but there's a little more hoops to go through when you wanna cash them out, so. I just wanna make sure we're getting as much interest as we can, because you're looking at 5% for some of these things or more. So, makes sense, I just need to have a resolution from the board to authorize me to start with that. And that is all I have at this point. Finance.
School safety and climate, Brian?
I think Kerry already discussed, week of violence with the Center for Prevention,
Okay.
so.
How about the fire drills and all?
Yeah, we had, we have one scheduled coming up, a lockdown drill, an announced one coming up in the next few weeks. And we had fire drill the other day, and we also had a unannounced fire drill.
Temporary permanent.
Any personnel?
But just, we, today, this evening, hopefully we'll be hiring 4 paraprofessionals, which closes it out. We at least have everybody that we need right now. Don't know how long that'll last, but for now, we have all our positions filled, and we're always looking for stuff. We have a few added there, so.
Moves us on to the regular consent agenda. Is there any changes in there, anything, or just read it? 3 through,
We were adding
Add Mrs.
the,
Eckert's Carolyn.
yeah, adding the Carolyn.
No, we'll add it as an extra resolution that's how I got it down.
okay, so elsewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so the following items are matters of routine business and will be voted on by one motion, 3 through 31. Can I have a motion?
Motion,
That's it.
Roll call vote, Chris?
Kate Adam,
yes, abstain from 11.
Caitlin Frater,
Yes, but abstain from 3 and 4.
Andy Joust,
Yes.
Jennifer Neff,
Yes, but abstain from 3 and 4.
John Tiger,
I'm gonna do yes and abstain from 3.
Leif Anderson,
Yes.
abstain from 4. Okay, and Ray Castellano.
Yes.
Motion passed. For number 32, I have written a motion to accept Health Foundation request to use the school district bus for caroling in December.
Second.
We're just all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And if anybody knows of anybody in need of caroling, just let us know. For fun, or, if somebody's sick or somebody just wants us to come, we enjoy it.
Do you go to Bentley?
We do go to Bentley.
So we're now, moving into our second public comment.
Motion to enter second public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have a list up there or not?
Yeah, there's this.
Oh yeah, and I'll put it up. Mindy?
So I have a question. My 4th grader came home today with a behavior contract. He was told he needed to urgently sign it. So apparently this applies to the entire 4th grade. So my question is, first of all, what gives anyone the right to tell a child they need to urgently sign anything at all ever? Second of all, how does this apply to my child specifically? Because if it doesn't and it applies to the whole class, then I would assume that the right way to handle a huge behavioral issue across the whole class is to call in all of the parents for a big meeting and figure out a way to resolve it and these behavioral issues. So I just wanted to say that I think that I don't think that my child should ever be asked to ever give their signature ever for any reason. I think that's completely unethical, and specifically that he was told to urgently sign it.
I need to look into it tomorrow because I wasn't aware of it, so.
Okay, that's
I
good to
know.
know. My thought process is first of all, they should never be giving their signature ever. The second thing is, and then if most people tomorrow come in and everyone else is handing in their paperwork, and my child someday is gonna feel peer pressure because everybody else is doing it, but they're not. And the other thing is it gonna lead to a couple years down the road where you're just gonna, I don't know, for any reason, let's say take a survey or some other reason, hand something out and say to them, we need your signature, you need to sign it urgently. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, I'm just saying I'm thinking about the long-term aspects of something like that.
Like I said, I wasn't aware that it went out. I don't know if there's a history of that going out. I just don't know.
Okay,
But I will look into it. I was informed about it just shortly before this meeting.
Like, I knew that they did it for the 8th grade, cause I received the same thing, and I guess my interpretation, I understand that they're sending it home, but like when we got the 8th grade contract, it was very thorough, like if you got five times or whatever, you missed out on class trips and all this stuff. However, I've never seen it for 4th grade before, but it doesn't clarify what the
Consequences.
what the consequences are if you don't follow this standard. And I just think, I understand that they're obviously having difficulty, and I'm willing to work with any teacher to resolve
and all
it.
the parents should be called in, or, so my other point to that is, so then, is it specific parents that should be called? So to me, everything on this list that I got of 10 things is, when I went to school, they were normally handled. So if there's such a huge behavioral issue, then I'm a parent who's willing to participate in whatever kind of meeting that the school wants to have. But I don't wanna ever see my child come home again with a slip that's asking them for any kind of a signature at all, ever. In my mind, that is completely unethical. They should not be used to giving their signature for anything at all, ever. Specifically without the parents seeing it before anybody signs it at all, ever, for any reason.
And like I said, I have to look into it. I
Okay.
just heard about it right before the meeting.
I just wanted to make
I'll be talking to the teachers
my feelings
tomorrow.
clear.
Thanks.
Lori?
I have two questions. One is, on the long-range facility plan, is the tennis court on there at all?
It is.
See, you just have to read your packet.
It
What about
is
the
a
trail?
project, it is a project,
It's a what?
What about the
Very costly
trail? Did you
project.
want the trail cleaned too, like the inspecting the trail or something?
We would just love the
Sorry.
tennis court.
Didn't you change-
She's asked for that for years.
And I do know,
Didn't you change that to pickleball?
yeah, well, that's what we're gonna talk about.
That's what-
Mention that
I have to
pickleball is
say.
becoming such a great sport that we could also possibly line the courts for both.
Right.
And they could be used during the day for, the school students, and then after school for community members. I think, and the township committee, I've spoken to some members on the township committee in Frankfurt, and they're willing to help as well at whatever they can. So I think if it may possibly, work together as a coordinated effort to see what we can do, since it does serve the school as well as the community, that would be great. Is that on for next year?
Temporary, permanent date.
Yeah. Well, that temporary permanent. Ray said we did, Ray just said we use the summer enrichment money.
You got that cash, you can give it to her right now.
Yeah. Now, they're getting worse and worse, and I would just assume that the longer they go, the more money it's gonna cost to do it. So, if that could be addressed, that'd be wonderful. So, the year after next year?
Hold it to next year.
All right, next year, great. Okay, the second comment is, I saw earlier on the agenda had recognition circle, but we didn't hear anything about that. So I just wondered if you
I
guys,
forgot,
okay, great, thank you.
but I forgot to just introduce and say, there was an update on recognition, so.
We had put out some names to the board just for consideration to get the idea moving again. And my understanding is we're gonna talk about it a little bit tonight, is that what you wanted to do? Because it's a board,
Yeah,
it's
just
a board
what,
call.
I think there was an issue that,
It was resolved.
so we don't need to talk about it.
No,
Okay,
I think we just need to talk about putting signs up.
Yeah.
Right?
okay.
Yeah, there was an issue that was clarified, yes, yes.
Was the list of names for recognition circle given last meeting or?
No,
I-
No,
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I was asking, are they gonna be approved?
I did not see that at all.
So there's no names
Sent
on
to the
here
committee.
either, it's
Right,
just
that's
to
what
be
he said.
determined.
Yeah, I didn't know, I didn't see any
To be
names.
announced.
Oh, who I sent this to, did I send it to
They sent to
everybody?
the committee.
Oh, just to the committee, okay, right, okay. I sent it to the committee that was assigned, which I guess would be the right move.
I said yes to it,
Okay, and the committee said yes, I know you did, okay.
yeah, and that would go on the agenda for the rest of the board to approve.
Oh, okay, okay.
You didn't make that motion.
Well, you,
Yeah.
wanna read it?
We could just do grading for this month and put it on there
I
as
think-
an item.
what happened with this is I put out a memo to the committee members, who would be Lee, Ray, and Chris. I just said, this is what we discussed back in August for Recognition Circle. This hasn't gone to the board yet, but this is the list. And there were 5 names on it, starting with October, and I guess October might extend in November at this point, I would suspect, right?
Yes.
Is that what the plan is?
It seems like it would be fair.
Yeah.
Just bump it another-
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, so what was proposed in discussion was Braden would be for October, again now November. Amy Labrizzi would be November, I guess we moved that to December. Kat Carini would be December, again, that'd be January. Judy Fontana would be February, moved from January to February. And Lorraine Lipinski would be February for that sign, if everybody's okay with that.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So make a motion,
What about,
Motion.
what
second,
about Bonnie? Mrs. Krupnik,
Oh, yeah, I forgot Mrs. Krupnik.
she retired last year.
Or she could go on to the next round.
What are we up to?
When the committee meets again.
just remind
The
us
month
what,
before this one is over.
Talk to me about that, because I'm not familiar with that particular name. Okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Did we do a motion to come out of public comment?
Did not.
I'll make it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, next scheduled meeting, special CSA search meeting, closed session is Saturday. This Saturday?
Monday, was it?
No,
Yeah.
no, for the CSA, he's
CSA.
right,
Oh,
CSA
CSA, no, that's
is
the
the 11th,
11th, right?
Not this Saturday, there's no date on here, so I wasn't sure.
it's November 11th.
Thank you. And regular meeting, November 27th,
Yes.
and we're ready to adjourn.
I just have one
Can we add
thing.
another meeting?
And I know everyone hates this. I just wanna thank everyone, the PTA is hosting their Tricky Tray. And we do have a Board of Ed basket, which the theme that we decided upon was shop local, so Branchville and Frankfurt. And we do have a basket worth $250 that includes gift cards to our local shops. And also a few items to warm your feet from Oars and a few little trinkets from the flag store. So everyone put your tickets in the basket and hopefully you'll win. Also, shameless plug, I also coordinated the kindergarten basket. We have maybe 6 baskets now for kindergarten. What a generous group the kindergarten family is. Highlight, we have $200 to Reflection Spa at Crystal Springs, so definitely put your tickets in there. We also have a,
You're selling it good.
yeah,
It's gonna be awesome.
yeah, it's gonna be pretty, so don't forget to come and really
So,
support the PTA, because we do lean on them for a lot of programs.
Mr. Simons, I think, is announcing, right?
I am,
Yeah,
What's the date?
yeah.
November 3rd, Friday.
November 3rd, next Friday.
Thank
It's
you for
open
all
at
your hard work,
5:30.
Mandy, putting together our
Yes,
board of basketball.
and Jamie,
Yes, thank you.
Jamie is putting with like the tags and everything, so we're good.
Alright,
That's next week.
Next week. It's next week.
It's literally next week.
Next Friday.
Next Friday. This Friday is not this next Friday.
Let's go into
Motion to adjourn.
Thank
all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, people.
And I had like a little bit left from work, so it was like